Okay. Do you see the recording light on top?
Huh?
Yeah, hello folks. Okay.
Yes. Whatever.
Need to make sure this is working. Yeah, I probably took a little bit of starch out of this video because I tried it this morning and pressed the wrong button and it didn't record. My name's Brad Holt and I'm from Spring Branch, Texas. This behind me is my mother's 4750-inch screen TV set. It's a Sony. Please listen to the name. It's a Sony TV. The other day her TV quit working. She turned it on. It kept turning itself off. So we called Sony. Made the first phone call. Somebody answered. Told them what the problem was. They transferred me. 20 minutes or so later, no one ever picked up the phone. So I hung up and I called back. Second guy picked up the phone, answered the call. Told him what the problem was. He said he would transfer me and he would stay on the line until someone came on and picked up the call. 25 minutes later or so, no one answered the phone. I hung up again. The third time, the guy picked up the phone and answered, and he said, "How are you doing?" And I proceeded to tell him about how unhappy I was of being put on hold for getting close to an hour with no one picking up the phone. And he apparently didn't like what I said, so he hung up. Then I called back a fourth time. And when I called back a fourth time, the guy says, "I see you. This is your fourth telephone call." So they're tracking my phone calls. And so far, I'm speaking to no one that speaks English as a first language. And I again explained what was going on with the TV set, and the guy says, "No problem, we can fix it. We can do that." But the first guy told you, the other guy told you it'd be $129. Excuse me? He said, "Yeah, it'd be $129. First guy told you. I said, "No one told me anything. They transferred me and no one ever came back on the line." And the guy says, "We can fix this, it's not a problem." So he's telling me it's procedural. It's a matter of which button to press in order to fix it. And they want $129. Well, my 89-year-old mother's income doesn't allow for things like this. And I was pretty upset at that point. And so the next day, I called up the corporate office after I had to search for a number to be able to reach them, because apparently they don't want to be found by the everyday customer. And I got from Jose, who didn't sound like he was a Jose, but Jose gave me a reference number that someone would call me back from the escalation team, and they would do it that day. It's been about 5 or 6 days now, and what I get every day now are emails from Sony wanting me to buy stuff or asking me how happy I am and everything else, but no one's ever bothered to call me. And this is for Sony. The reference number that I got from Sony, from someone that was going to call me from their escalation team, was E as in Echo, 605-82272. So you got the number. No one's ever called, but I get advertisements in my email every day because I had to give them my email address for the contact information when they were going to call and resolve my problem. So, first off, this is for putting me on hold for almost an hour. And the next thing I've got is the fact that I can't speak to someone that speaks English as a first language. You know, the same day I had a problem with my cell phone in that there was malware out there, malicious software, and my phone company, LG, spent over an hour walking me through it and resetting my factory phone, and there's no warranty there, and they didn't charge me nothing. And I have a problem with Samsung for my tablet. If it's a procedural problem, they just help me out. They do it, press a couple buttons, and we fix the problem. If I have a problem with my printer, which is a Epson, same thing. Every time something goes wrong, if something goes wrong, it's procedural, they'll fix it. Procedure for Sony cost $129. That's kind of what I think about Sony for what they charge. That's kind of what I think about Sony for putting me on hold for an hour. That's kind of what I think about Sony for telling me that somebody's going to call me from the resolution team, how important it is. They'll take care of it. They're soothing my ruffled feathers, but nobody ever bothers to call me up, and instead they're sending me advertisements. I can tell you it'd be a pretty good bet that I'm probably not going to be purchasing any more Sony products this week, next week, the week after, or any time after that. It just bothers me that I can't talk to someone that speaks English as a first language. people that don't answer the phone, people that will put you on hold for extended periods of time, people that don't tell you up front what they should have told you. I would not have been on the phone for almost an hour if somebody would have said this will cost $129, and where all these competitors that make the same kind of products as Sony don't charge anything for their customers if it's a procedural deal. Sony doesn't do that. So I'm a little camera shy and I'm a little nervous and I'm still real upset about it the more I talk about it. And now that I've got a few holes in this thing and now it's beyond repair, it can go in the junk pile where it's supposed to go. And the only thing it did good is it held up and didn't fall down when I shot it. So my vote for Sony, and the dollars you'll ever see from me the rest of my life are exactly zero. And you know, maybe a few more people as consumers ought to start standing up for, we give them their money for things we want, and then when something goes wrong, all we hear is, you know, pay me, pay me, pay me. So competitors out there that are good and don't do it, Sony is not one of them. Thank you, folks. Have a nice day. Don't buy Sony.
That's good. I hope somebody